I'll just give you one example that I mentioned in that paper, which is in the US, there is, through the NIH, the National Institutes of Health, there is an Office for Research on Women's Health, and that was founded in 1990 through legislation. And it was actually founded on something that would probably be of interest to you guys, which is there was this claim that women were underrepresented as participants in clinical research trials. So the idea was, oh, we don't have enough information on women, they're being underrepresented, we're not studying them enough. It turns out a couple years later, an independent organization looked into that claim and found that it was actually false. It was never true. But this Office for Research on Women's Health was founded. It still exists today, which, okay, fair enough. I'm very happy for women to be researched and studied. I want them to live great and healthy lives.
Wait, no, this is interesting because I've never heard this before. So this is, you're going back to the 1990s, and 1990. There was already data there to show that female participation as research subjects wasn't less than male participation. And and the question is, would this be in, I assume, the biological sciences? Is that?
Yep. So it would be NIH funded research.
Okay.
So prior to that time, but now as part of NIH funded research, because of this legislation that was passed in the early 90s, you are now meant to recruit. It sort of depends on your study design, and I think there is there can be reasons where you might not do this, but you basically need to try to recruit equal numbers of male and female participants. And the Office for Research on Women's Health reports each year the proportion of male and female participants in NIH-funded projects. So they report this every year, and every year it's usually about 55% female participants and 45% male.
Wow, that's surprising.
It is always in favor of females. So sometimes it's as high as 60% female participants, 40% males. But the point that I make in that paper and a bunch of my other papers now is, look, we're all very happy and want women's health to be great and grand.
Right.
But actually, if you look at a lot of the data, it's clear, and it ties into the transgender sports talk. So one of the things that I mentioned about that whole debate is we are actually overlooking the fact that there are many boys and men who are struggling with gender identity issues. These are mainly boys and men where this is becoming a problem. Yet we just sort of pass that off as not being anything. We're concerned, oh, how are they impacting women's sports and blah, blah, blah. I'm concerned about that too. But let's take a step back, and what's going on here? There are some boys and men that are they're struggling. These individuals typically do not have very good health outcomes, psychological health. I think transgender individuals are more prone to suicide, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not an expert in that area, but so what I'm getting at is we tend to, there's actually a theory around this. It's called gamma bias. And there is some psychological literature supporting this, where we don't see suffering and disadvantage in men the same way that we see it in women. And that is why at an institutional level, we tend to put all these resources into women's health, advancing women's careers, where at the same time, we're not really paying attention to men. In fact, at the same time, we have dangerous narratives about men. So we have things like male privilege, toxic masculinity, and these are all sort of stigmatizing men in a certain way, which is definitely not putting resources toward helping them.